Episode 164.
To see these men and women coming in at the national level, again, they are very good at what they're doing. And not just the technical skills, but the personal skills, their actual workplace skills, their professionalism. It just floors me. It's exciting to be able to see that these are going to be the future leaders of our industry coming in. And they are sharp and they are prepared and they just wow you over, that's for sure.
Welcome, aftermarketers, to On Point from Remarkable Results Radio and a special interview from an auto care industry professional. On Point. Hello, aftermarketers throughout North America and around the world. Carm Capriato here, and thank you for listening to Remarkable Results Radio. And welcome to episode 164 with Scott Norman. This episode is brought to you by Federal Mogul Motor Parts. They are the reason you enjoy these interviews twice per week. When you need innovation and quality, you need Federal Mogul Motor Parts. With brands like Moog, Felpro, Wagner Brake, Champion, Seal Power, FP Diesel, and more, they're the parts techs trust. Find out more at fmmotorparts.com. You may remember hearing Scott Norman on the show before, and you are right. Scott was on in episode 152. He is an associate professor of automotive technology at Pittsburg State University in Pittsburg, Kansas. But that's not all Scott does. For the past 10 years, Scott has been the chairman of the National Automotive Service Technology, AST, Committee for SkillsUSA. And if that isn't enough, Scott is also the USA Technical Delegate for WorldSkills. This is an important interview for every person working in the automotive aftermarket. We always wonder where the young talent is going to come from, and I'm thankful that Scott agreed to share a solid overview of these programs. You need to know and understand the value that SkillsUSA and WorldSkills brings to our industry. There's also a huge opportunity for corporate sponsorship so that we can send more delegates to WorldSkills. Please listen to best appreciate the value that SkillsUSA and WorldSkills brings to the industry and how you can help. Listen to learn about the processes and work necessary to hold the SkillsUSA Challenge each year, that there are thousands of participants that are there to win, and many thousand more volunteers helping to put on the competition. This is a jewel of our industry and worthy of your time to listen and learn and even step forward to help. In 1997, he judged his first SkillsUSA AST national competition and has since been involved in more than 25 national and international skills competitions. Scott Norman and organizations like SkillsUSA and WorldSkills are working hard to engage young students and help promote career and technical education so we will have a future workforce in skills areas like automotive technology. Now here we go with Scott Norman. Nice to be with Scott Norman, Associate Professor of the Department of Automotive Technology and the Automotive Coordinator at Pittsburg State University in Pittsburg, Kansas. And as if that wasn't enough, with WorldSkills and SkillsUSA. Man, I can't wait to hear all about this. Scott, are you ready to go on point?
I sure am. Thanks for having me.
Man, I'll tell you, well, we did another interview with you, and it was great to come on as an instructor out there at the Pittsburg State. But you are also so deeply involved in WorldSkills and SkillsUSA, and I know we're all very interested to hear from a person like you all about it. What's going on? Where do you find the time to do this?
Yeah, that's funny. When I was hired at the university from Chrysler Corporation, they said, "Oh yeah, you'll have your summers off, 3 months. You don't have to do anything at all. You can do whatever you want." And so now you ask me what I do all summer. I was like, well, I volunteer for SkillsUSA, I volunteer for WorldSkills, I volunteer for the Boy Scouts. I have about maybe 1 week where I'm at home and everything else is working. So yeah, SkillsUSA, great organization. I've been involved in that for about 20 years now.
Uh-huh.
I was first involved with it starting in 1997. I was with Chrysler Corporation as a training instructor in the Kansas City area, and that's when they had their national competition in Kansas City every year. And so I remember going there for the first time, helping out the Chrysler people that were there, helping set up the competition. I had to develop, I think it was a brake station at the time, and didn't really know what was going on. I was involved in a few competitions, down in Oklahoma before that, and out in Salt Lake City before that. But I was just there to help out, doing what I was told. I wasn't really instrumentally involved. And so I started that first year and been doing it for 20 years since. And for the last 10 years, I've actually been chair for the national competition.
Wow. And then where'd WorldSkills creep in there?
Well, since I did such a great job managing the,
I knew you would say that. I just knew that. Yeah.
Since I did the chair of the automotive contest for 10 years, and again, I have an awesome team there, and we'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
But then I was appointed by SkillsUSA to actually represent the United States as their technical delegate to WorldSkills, which is a great honor, that's for sure.
Where's WorldSkills next year?
Well, next year we're gonna compete in Abu Dhabi in the UAE, United Arab Emirates.
Wow.
So that's gonna be very exciting.
Ever been over there?
No, I'm going in January, and I'm afraid it's like a 24-hour flight. So I'm not real looking forward to the flight.
Well, you could start digging a hole from Kansas and probably go right through the earth and get there.
It's about as far away as you can from Kansas. That's
my!
For sure.
So, what was the first SkillsUSA that you ever judged? You have a memory from that?
Well, yeah, I just remember being there and being in awe because, again, I'd never been to a national competition before, and just going in that hall and seeing thousands of volunteers putting together all these different competitions. And so SkillsUSA, again, this is their national competition.
Yeah.
The students will start off at a local level. Maybe they're at a school, and they'll compete against each other to find out who's the best in that school. Then they'll have a local competition, and they'll see who's the best in the region. Then each state will have a competition, and then they'll have a state winner. Then the state winner from college and the state winner from high school will then come to the national competition. So you have so with the national competition, you have all the state winners in 100 different skills. So you're looking at 6,000 competitors in a big monster convention hall, probably another 10 to 20,000 volunteers all working one solid week in order to put on this competition. It is just phenomenal.
I'm talking with Jonathan Cicchelli, a technical product specialist with Federal Mogul Motor Parts. Now, you're visiting shops every day, so when you put product in the hands of the technicians and service advisors, what are they saying?
Going back to Federal Mogul's long-term presence in the industry, they already know the product, and some of them we don't have to say much about. It's the newer product, the latest innovations that we come out with that just blow people away.
So, Jonathan, you take that brand new OEX pad and you put it into the hands of a technician. What happens?
They look at it and are kind of speechless for a couple seconds, and they just can't deny that it's an awesome-looking product, and they can't deny that it's going to work fantastic on their vehicles.
Now, another phenomenal product line that is just one of the most iconic brands in the entire industry is Moog. Now, there's a lot going on with Moog.
The newest thing with Moog is going to be, I think, the most important thing to the shops is a newer design ball joint that we created, and that was off of technicians' responses to a boot design.
That's that compression-loaded ball joint with the pre-installed integral dust boot?
Absolutely. And as soon as I pull that out of a box and show a technician or a shop owner, they just were like, this is amazing.
So, Jonathan, would you say that you're a champion for Federal Mogul Motor Parts and all the premium products?
Absolutely.
And a champion for all the training?
I'm very big on training. I've always been in training since I've been in the professional field. So just to come back and support on the other end has just been an awesome experience.
Federal Mogul Motor Parts' Garage Gurus is your go-to source for the vehicle training, technology, and answers you need to keep your next job on track. On-site, online, or on demand, the Gurus are here to help keep your business and your career on the road to success. Visit fmgarageguru.com. So you look at these men and women that come to these programs. What's the caliber of their skills?
Oh, they're so much smarter than I was when I was their age. I can't believe, because I'm thinking when I was in high school, I did nothing. You know, I was not involved in any organization like that. I wasn't even taking automotive classes in high school. And so to see these men and women coming in at the national level, again, they are very good at what they're doing. And not just the technical skills, but the personal skills, their actual workplace skills, their professionalism. it just floors me. It's exciting to be able to see that these are going to be the future leaders of our industry coming in, and they are sharp and they are prepared. And they just wow you over, that's for sure.
Ever do any follow-up on some of the men and women that you know and find out where they are today?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to do a shout-out here to Jack Frederick. He was a student here at 2010, and I first met him, and he was a high school competitor. He wasn't my student yet. And he came up and said, "Hello, Mr. Norman. I wanted to shake your hand and say thank you very much for putting on the competition." I think he won silver that year in high school or something. But he was like, wow, this student, he's so professional, and he comes up and shakes my hand and starts a conversation, and I was just wowed. And, well, he comes to my school, and then, of course, he attends my classes. He was selected for the WorldSkills competitor, which in 2009, he was the silver medal winner in Calgary. So we'll say he's the second best in the world, so that's a big deal. He's now the service manager for Foley Cat, their engine rebuild facility. And so he'll be here next week for one of our career fairs. But the last time he was here, I asked him how he's going. And he said, well, yeah, I got about 100 technicians in my rebuild facility that I actually manage. I'm the manager of it. And, of course, he's only been out for let's say, 6 years. And he's already at that high of a level.
Whoa. That's all I can say is whoa. Great, great story. You talked about silver. I'm sure there's a gold. Tell me about the medal. Is it like an Olympics?
Yeah, it is. It sure is. And so with the WorldSkills and also with SkillsUSA, at the national level, when the students are winners, they will get you get gold medal or you get gold, silver, or bronze on the college side. So for automotive technology, for example, we could have 50 students come in on the high school side. And so out of the 50 competing, one from each state, you're going to get a top place winner. He's going to get gold. Second's going to get silver, and then bronze. And then on the college side, you could possibly get another 50, but normally we only get about 30 to 40 college students come in. But they'll also get gold, silver, and bronze. And then at the national level, once we select our WorldSkills competitor, which right now we're in the process of selecting our WorldSkills competitor for Abu Dhabi. And so once we select this student, and we select them from our previous winners. So we'll look at our winners from 2015, and we'll look at our winners from 2016, and then we'll select the best one out of those 2 years in order to represent the USA at the next WorldSkills competition.
What an honor! Wow, what an honor! Is this an important program for our industry?
Yeah, it really. I bet you any aftermarket shop is they know that they need technicians, and any dealership or any aftermarket shop that comes to our school to recruit, they're always looking for technicians. We need technicians.
So if SkillsUSA was on a resume and I was interviewing a tech, that's a pretty big resume line item, huh?
It is because that those students not only have the technical skills from their school, but they're also learning their personal skills, their professional or their workplace skills along with that.
And they've been in competition. I mean, that's a whole other element there.
Yeah, it sure is. It's like I never did anything like that. So I'm just amazed at and excited to see what these students who are the winners are going to do in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. It's going to be phenomenal.
Any corporate support, this has got a cost to put on.
Yeah, I don't do this all by myself, that's for sure. I just organize a great team. We have companies like GM and Toyota and Chrysler and Hunter Engineering and Gates Corporation, American Honda, Snap-on, ASE, and so we have about 20 industry representatives that come together as a committee to help put on this competition.
Any money cross hands?
Yeah, they sure do.
Okay.
We do ask for support, so we get support from those companies, and they do donate for that. And so the difference with WorldSkills is that we have to seek out. Well, even with SkillsUSA, is that it's a non-for-profit organization. So we have to seek out partnerships in order to support this. And this and I see this really a big deal in the WorldSkills environment. like this last summer we had the Olympics, and the U.S. got 121 medals. 46 gold, 37 silver, 38 bronze.
Yeah.
And so when you ask me, well, how did the U.S. do with the last WorldSkills competition in Sao Paulo, Brazil? Well, we got 0 gold, we got 0 silver, we got 1 bronze. And so I'll get all these different countries with WorldSkills. There's, let's say, 75 countries involved. And I'll constantly get a question of, so how come you only have 16 competitors? Where when you look at countries like Brazil, Korea, China, they have 40 to 50 competitors. And we have 16, we have 17. Maybe we'll have 10 one year. Yeah. And they can't understand why we have such a small team and why we don't win any medals. And it all goes down to support. I think that, also it's election year. I would think is that if all the energy was spent on the election, that they would actually spend for education and programs to help support education and skills, that we would just be phenomenal.
I'm hearing you. So if someone was listening to this and they said, I've got to get involved, how would they do that?
Okay, so the first step is that we have local and regional and state competitions. And I know that for myself, managing the national competition, the single hardest thing is to get judges. And so we need people to it's only one day out of the year to come in and help judge these students. And what's great about it is that the shop owners and the service managers could actually look at it and see how talented these young students are. Yeah. It's just amazing.
Well, they're hanging with them. I mean, are you looking for master techs?
That's fine too. Sometimes I'll have technicians come in. Sometimes I'll have the owner come in from the shop. Sometimes I'll have the manager come in. Whoever is available come in. And again, and what's really great is that once we get typically once these guys come in and see what a big difference it does make, they're there every year judging, helping out.
Okay, getting involved locally means getting with the local technical college in your area or your region. Number one, right?
Yes,
just walk in the door, knock. Listen, I want to help because I know you guys do SkillsUSA, and I want to help. Right, number one. What if I was listening and I wanted to bring some corporate dollar support so we can throw more people into the World Games? I'm saying World Games.
Yeah, that would be because obviously without money we don't have any support to train anybody. We don't have any support to send anybody. We can't have a competitor if we don't have any money. That's for sure. And so obviously, I guess a good place to start would be to go to the SkillsUSA webpage.
Okay.
And they could go there and they could look at partnerships, and that would be a good place to start. Another aspect of this, and I get a lot of questions like, why do I do this? Why am I involved? Why do all these companies, if I'm looking at either Toyota or GM or Gates or whoever, why are they involved? Well, we're trying to put a spark in all the students that are out there. So we're trying to build some excitement in the industry. And so when you think about, I think about my kids, and they'll do a project at school and they're him-hawing about it. But as soon as you put the word competition in there and they have to compete on anything, they are excited, they're motivated, they are driven to win. And so if you put something like a competition together, it's driving the students, it's getting them excited. The students that are at the high school level then puts extra work in. They're putting extra work in. They're putting extra motivation in. They're getting excited about their industry. They're like, hey, this may be something I want to do. Maybe I want to be a technician. Maybe I'm going to go to school and continue my education.
How big is the team that you have that manages? I mean, is it countrywide, and do you ever have to spend money to meet?
Well, yeah. Well, right now we're building. SkillsUSA is building. We are currently building our team for next year, and so our next competition will be in October of 2017. And so how big our team is depends upon how much money we have, and then how much time we meet depends upon how much money we have.
I get it. Yeah, and where is it? Where's the competition next year?
It's in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is in Abu Dhabi.
Sorry. Yeah,
but as
WorldSkills.
The WorldSkills. But what about the SkillsUSA?
Okay.
There's one single national one too.
Yeah. So right now, next year it's going to be in Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
And it's going to be there until 2021. Then it's going to be moved to Atlanta, Georgia.
Got it. And you need money to do all of this.
Well, yes, that's for sure, and volunteers, that's for sure. So if anyone is in the Louisville area, and if they want to help judge the National Skills USA competition, it's the last week in June, and you can put my email address posted on this interview. They can contact me directly, and then I'll get them set up.
I will do that. But if I lived in Cleveland or Nashville or even Atlanta, and I wanted to drive there and do it on my own time.
Yes, you could definitely, and we have people that do that every single year. They'll come from Michigan, they'll come from Kansas, they'll come from
wherever,
Oklahoma. Yep,
because
wherever.
They want to support and help the industry.
Yep, exactly right. And the key is that we're trying to motivate these students to showcase the best of the nation, and to be able to promote our industry. And of course, if we don't do that, we realize we're not going to have technicians.
Wow. Great stuff. My hat's off to you for the amount of effort you put in a volunteer position. Man, you are a passionate, loving guy. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's I do get my college to pay for my travel and my hotel bill and stuff like that. But and then most of the people that are on our committee, we have from Gates and Snap-on and GM and Hunter and Toyota, all those people, they have corporate sponsorship. So again, those employees, they'll get paid, and they'll get reimbursed for all their expenses, which is nice on that.
So they're also volunteering their help besides being a monetary thing. They're also giving part of their mind share to you.
Yeah, and really it's a lot more involved than just 1 week because we have to develop the competition. So I'll start developing a station probably in maybe February, January, sometime like that. So you have to figure out what you want to do. So maybe I have an engine station.
Yeah.
I have to, number one, I have to get engines. I have to get enough engines. I have to figure out what I want to do with these engines. What type of problem I'm going to put into, what type of bug am I going to do. Then I'm going to have to write up the documentation, make sure that they're set up to the standards. I have to validate that everything is working right.
Yeah.
Have to get all the components, all the tools, everything all ready to go. I have to get all this stuff to the competition site. Once the competition site is there, I have to set it up. Once I set it up, I then have to train the judges that come in, the volunteer judges that are going to come in. All the aftermarket guys are going to come in, and so I have to volunteer them, I have to train them in order to be able to judge that station. And so the competition at national level is a one-day competition where the students will go through roughly 15 different rotations. And so they'll get about 20 minutes on each station. So maybe if it's an engine station, maybe it's a timing chain they have to do.
And how many stations?
It's a total of 15.
Man.
15 different stations.
Man,
so it could be anywhere from an on-car station, on-car diagnostics with the scan tool, to disassembling and reassembling a brake unit, to maybe doing some electrical testing, something like that.
Hey, listen, I was starved for this information. I am so happy you shared. So Scott Norman, Associate Professor, Department of Automotive Technology, and the Automotive Coordinator at Pittsburgh State University, and with WorldSkills and the SkillsUSA. Thanks so much for sharing all your great knowledge on these programs.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Scott Norman, and thank you so much for listening. Find additional show notes on Scott Norman with SkillsUSA and WorldSkills and links to these important programs on the show notes page. It's easy. remarkableresults.biz/E164. If you have the time and or resources to give to these programs, your help will be greatly appreciated. These are important programs that can support the technician shortage so much talked about in our industry. See the show notes page for links and emails. You're an important reason I bring you these interviews, so you can profit from the ideas and expertise in each episode. So help spread the word. Your help is needed to unite our industry, and I'm grateful and thankful for your support. Thanks for being on board to listen and learn from another inspiring aftermarket professional. Until next time.